In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. We love the things we love for what they are. These woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep. Never be bullied into silence. Never allow yourself to be made a victim. Accept no one's definition of your life. Define yourself. No tears in the writer, no tears in the reader. No surprise in the writer, no surprise in the reader. A poem begins as a lump in the throat, a sense of wrong, a homesickness, a love sickness. Love is an irresistible desire to be irresistibly desired. Education is the ability to listen to almost anything without losing your temper or your self-confidence. Forgive, O Lord, my little jokes on thee, and I'll forgive thy great big one on me. If we couldn't laugh, we would all go insane. Freedom lies in being bold. The best way out is always through. Poetry is what gets lost in translation. Half the world is composed of people who have something to say and can't, and the other half who have nothing to say and keep on saying it. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Happiness makes up in height for what it lacks in length. Don't ever take a fence down until you know why it was put up. Forgive me my nonsense as I also forgive the nonsense of those who think they talk sense. I'm not confused. I'm just well mixed. A diplomat is a man who always remembers a woman's birthday, but never remembers her age. To be a poet is a condition, not a profession. There are 2 kinds of teachers. The kind that fill you with so much quail shot that you can't move, and the kind that just gives you a little prod behind and you jump to the skies. I hold it to be the inalienable right of anybody to go to hell in his own way. The afternoon knows what the morning never suspected. The heart can think of no devotion greater than being shore to the ocean, holding the curve of one position, counting an endless repetition. Poetry is when an emotion has found its thought, and the thought has found words. How many things have to happen to you before something occurs to you? There is one thing more exasperating than a wife who can cook and won't, and that's a wife who can't cook and will. I have been one acquainted with the night. I have walked out in rain and back in rain. I have outwalked the furthest city light. I have looked down the saddest city lane. I have passed by the watchman on his beat and dropped my eyes, unwilling to explain. We ran as if to meet the moon. A mother takes 20 years to make a man of her boy, and another woman makes a fool of him in 20 minutes. How many things would you attempt if you knew you could not fail? We dance round in a ring and suppose, but the secret sits in the middle and knows. The reason why worry kills more people than work is that more people worry than work. Something we were withholding made us weak until we found it was ourselves. A jury consists of 12 persons chosen to decide who is the better lawyer. The world is full of willing people, some willing to work, the rest willing to let them. Thinking is not to agree or disagree. That's voting. A poem begins with a lump in the throat, a homesickness or a love sickness. It is a reaching out toward expression, an effort to find fulfillment. A complete poem is one where an emotion has found its thought and the thought has found words. And were an epitaph to be my story, I'd have a short one ready for my own. I would have written of me on my stone. I had a lover's quarrel with the world. The brain is a wonderful organ. It starts working the moment you get up in the morning and does not stop until you get into the office. Before I built a wall, I'd ask to know what I was walling in or walling out. The middle of the road is where the white line is, and that's the worst place to drive. Unless you are educated in metaphor, you are not safe to be let loose in the world. I believe in teaching, but I don't believe in going to school. Oh, come forth into the storm and rout, and be my love in the rain. By faithfully working 8 hours a day, you may eventually get to be boss and work 12 hours a day. I am a writer of books in retrospect. I talk in order to understand. I teach in order to learn. A civilized society is one which tolerates eccentricity to the point of doubtful sanity. Anything more than the truth would be too much. A bank is a place where they lend you an umbrella in fair weather and ask for it back when it begins to rain. Good fences make good neighbors. You've got to love what's lovable and hate what's hateable. It takes brains to see the difference. Every poem is a momentary stay against the confusion of the world. Poetry is a way of taking life by the throat. Most of the change we think we see in life is due to truths being in and out of favor. I turned to speak to God about the world's despair. But to make bad matters worse, I found God wasn't there. The best things and best people rise out of their separateness. I'm against a homogenized society because I want the cream to rise. Always fall in with what you're asked to accept. Take what is given and make it over your way. My aim in life has always been to hold my own with whatever's going. Not against. With. Education doesn't change life much. It just lifts trouble to a higher plane of regard. Never have sex with a woman who gave herself to you out of pity.